Welcome, everyone. This is Polly Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Hi.
Sanswinda.
Hello.
Werendis.
Hello, everyone.
And Calabathian.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Let's now head in and see what news we have. And first item up is that next week there will be a patch. They're trying to get it out on Tuesday, but they haven't made final decisions on that yet. And this will include the beginning of Volume 5 of the Epic Story. It's been a while since we've had a Epic Story quest.
Yeah.
And of course, we all know where Volume 5 is starting, and that is with a little wedding.
It better not start us in Rivendell. Just saying, right now. Better not.
Of course it won't start us in
No.
Rivendell.
Don't even say that, Pineleaf. Somebody's gonna be like, oh hey, like you're finally outside my library. Can you go get this one book that I really need that I forgot on this shelf?
I was about to say.
I was going to say it was going to start in the Bjorning Hoos.
That does seem more likely, but we'll see.
I think it starts in the throne room, though.
Even better.
As far from Rivendell as possible.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll see that. This will also include a few other things, a few adjustments, a few class adjustments, and some more. We'll have to go over everything when we get the patch notes. Corvin showed a preliminary version of the patch notes, and of course things could change in there, but the big thing that they're going to be trying to get in there is the wedding. So I suspect that if they can't have the wedding all nice, perfectly working by then, they will push it rather than put it out early. Then let's head into the LOTRO Beacon then, where on this week's Beacon we have the terrible
Suicidal twins.
Yes. The tempestuous twins. Yes, for our community spotlight, Summerfest 4 is taking place on Brandywine. And Nekamalu recently chatted with Scenario and Bakata about housing, talking about Rohan housing. And you could click on the link for the interview.
Can't wait for Rohan housing. Corded said looking like the end of July for that. Late July.
Well, he said, last time I heard it, he said later in July, which usually they introduce the things like that in mid-month. So I'm going to guess it'll be about I would say either the 14th or 21st, somewhere in that area. I would say more likely the 21st. We'll find out. I Love Fried Orc is debuting a beta version of the Tree Planner.
I love fried orcra. It's soul food.
Araforn has created a website to help you find all you need to know about every class and how to build and play them at endgame. And you could click on that for LOTROHQ.com. That means you'll know how to play your character at endgame better than I do, so I don't think that takes much. And the Summer Poetry Competition takes place on Laurelin on June. Oh, actually, that was today. Never mind. Let's then head on to the Ken Hall. The Forsaken Lonelanders are a casual kinship on Lageville with an awesome kin house, full crafting facilities, a supplier, a vault, and more. They also have a Discord server for voice, text, and meme chat. The kinship also has a website that can be found at the link. So now let's come to our weekly comment. What would make a good gift for Aragorn and Arwen for their wedding? Did we have a similar question last week?
No, last week was the best thing about a wedding.
Okay. I think we, though, brought up gifts at some point in there because I just remember a little.
I did. I was complaining about if you go to the wedding, you have to figure out what you're going to get the lovely couple.
Right. So now they want you to say, okay, what did you decide? You had a week?
A gift card to the Minas Tirith pubs.
Both Eladan and Elrohir's cloak. Oh, wait.
Both of their cloaks, all right.
I really have no clue what you get them. Whatever they put on their registry.
What do you get the power couple in the world who literally has everything?
Right?
Probably not.
Right.
Like,
Does Middle Earth have fondue pots?
They totally should if they don't.
I can build
Get a
them a
little fondue-
campfire in their throne room to go underneath your fondue pot.
Yeah, and the fondue pot is a little tiny Mount Doom, and the fondue comes out of the top. It looks like lava, but it's really like chocolate or something.
Hey,
And
that
you
would
have
be pretty cool.
You have little sticks with little either orcs that you could made out of marshmallows.
like little rings.
Or runes, or I was going to actually say Frodo's, but I wasn't going to go there, okay? Because Frodo's probably going to be there.
No, you just need them to look like
he's still
golden
suffering
rings.
from PTSD, so it's like everyone's eating me with chocolate. So
Okay, so you want to have some fudge fondue?
That would be good, yeah.
Okay.
We'll just have fudge. We'll just stop at the fudge fondue. That's what we'll do.
I guess I just don't think of fondue all that much. I think the last two times I've thought of fondue were in conversations during the show these last 2 weeks.
So you're more fondonting.
Fondonting. Yes. I am not even sure exactly what fondue is for.
Eating? Fondue is for eating. Come on.
Well, that I know. I mean, but
What kind of a hobbit are you?
obviously one that
Potatoes.
doesn't eat fondue.
Hobbits only have fondue if something falls into a pot by accident.
Yes, all right. So what making a
So
good
thinking
gift
of
for
fondue, a chocolate fountain would be pretty cool.
Just don't put the swans in it.
Right. Unless they're marshmallow swans, in which case that's probably okay.
Well, I would say that whatever you get them, it would have to be swan themed in some way, I would think.
It wouldn't have to be necessarily.
Well, I guess.
I mean, I suppose I could get them some pipeweed from the Shire. It's just a tiny trip down the road again.
Could you go back to Rivendell and no? What would make a good gift for them?
No, I'm just not happening.
What would make a good gift for them? Anything that is not left in Rivendell. Although we do have a guy up here called I Love Fried Orc, so I'm just saying maybe that was one of their answers for what it would make a good gift for them. It's like, I'll bring the fried orc. I love fried orc.
Mm-hmm. An orc fryer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there are any good recipes for that, so let's skip past that and head to the fan site news. Well, last week we had a little tribute to Ian Holm. And for LOTRO streams, LOTRO stream is your first stop to find LOTRO on Twitch. This week, Gondor has a Druid's Fire, Minas Morgul has an Uger, and a Fellowship has Zol. Or is that 2-0? 2-0. Right. Also on Twitch, Gussie Marie is back from Mixer. Yeah, so Gussie Moose changed her name to Gussie Marie. Estelle Ali, Raids, and Blood of Loki uses classic gear. Over on YouTube, Matuz has a video of a memorial to Ian Holm on Laurelin. Kindle Burstick is a human Legolas, and Mad Matt shares a day in the life. And Learning LOTRO discusses mounts, and you click that for the latest guide. And players recently mourned the passing of Sir Ian Holm in-game, and you can click on a link to read about it on Kotalu UK. Let's then head to the screenshot of the week, where Xarlin from Crick Hollow recently held a party with the kin Harvesters in the Dark and grabbed this screenshot from the event. Thanks, Xarlion, for sending this in. Submit your screenshots by emailing to contact@standingstonegames.com. And that is it. So then let's head into the Beacon. Terry, what's on sale this week?
Well, my favorite weekly coupon is back. Fall injury immunity times 5. Coupon code is fallimmune.
Also known as the Sanswinda special.
Yes, the Sanswinda special.
Now through July 2nd. I always make sure to leap on that code as soon as it comes out, because, yeah. Do you know which alt of mine actually uses bandages? It's Terry, because she's the one who runs around with Sanswinda, who occasionally will go, I know where I'm going, it's just a little crunchy. Yeah.
I love how you describe that as occasionally, though. Thank you, Terry.
Well, because usually I'm the one in the lead, because I'm the one who hasn't been places, and I'm like, okay, let's go this way. Questeros is here. Or I say things like, let's follow the road, Pine Leaf. Also, we have double bonus points in the LOTRO store now through July 6th. And 30% off. Yay! Travel skills, milestone skills, hurried and returning traveler skills, advanced riding traits, rally horns now through July 2nd. Now is the time to get them.
Get that journeyman riding.
Get that journeyman riding. All account at 30% off. Hard to beat it. So
you
they
might
can
not be
stay
able
on the road.
You might not be able to get war steeds at level 5, but with journeyman riding, all your mounts will go fast as possible at level 5 without being war steeds. It's almost as good, but not quite. But still totally worth it. If only they'd put war steeds at level 5 in the store.
There's always one in the crowd.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, because I suspect that my average level 5 character would just keep running into trees or something like that if I attempted to ride a war steed.
Well, you're supposed to look where you're going too, Pine. Mine probably would do the same, though, so I can't actually complain too much. I would just have fun riding into everything at full tilt, because why not?
Because there is one lamppost in the entire environment, and we're going to hit it and be stuck on it.
Well, yeah, it's like a Warsteed magnet type thing. Warsteed homing device? I don't know.
Yeah, it tends to be a bit of a magnet, doesn't it? Then let's head into our new player question. And who has the question for this week?
I have the question for this week. What are these featured instance things? When would one attempt them? How would one attempt them? And why would anyone do them?
Well, first off, the featured instance. So don't they have a minimum level in which you could actually run them as a featured instance?
I believe they have to be run at 10 levels, 20 levels under cap? Close to cap, anyway.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or is it still all the way down to 100?
Yeah, I don't know if it's down to what the lowest level could possibly be right now is level 100. You can either run it at cap or at some particular number below cap, whether it's 100 or whether.
I think you have to run it within the quest being green to you still.
Yes, that's why I think it is. I think the quest has to be green to you, but if you are near level 100, then you could run it at level 100. So I think, it has to meet both of those qualifications. So yes, is it a week that change? Let's see. I don't remember how they go through. They have this set of instances that are currently in rotation, and they rotate through. Is that a weekly? That they change that? That they change which is the current active instance?
Yes, I believe it rotates through on the week.
Right. So each week there's a different one from the list that is chosen, and if you run this instance and you qualify for the bonus in there, then meaning that it's at least green to you and that you're running it at least level 100, both those things qualified on it, then you get a special award for running the instance. I think it's a second chest or something like that, or
yeah, there's a second chest.
Yeah, there's a second chest in there, and you get some bonus items in there to help you to get things a little bit stronger. And in theory, you could actually run it twice. You could first run it slightly. If you're at cap, you could run it twice. Because usually they have a credit for running it at cap, and they have credit for running it at below cap, but within your green range. So if you run it, say at 129 and then at 130, then you'll be able to run it twice and get a reward for each of those. That's unless they change that at some point.
Do they have any level 130 stuff in those boxes? Or is it still stuck at level 105 stuff? And some LI stuff?
I thought the featured instance stuff got updated properly.
It might have.
Well, I guess I don't follow. We only do featured instances randomly if we have to be on the high level characters, and you say, oh, let's see, this is what the featured instance is this week, and if it's one that fits with our group. Because if the featured instance is the library, and we have 5 people, we'll run it. Since we have too many people in that case. And of course, if the featured instance happens to be a raid and we only have 4 people, we're unlikely going to be running that. Certainly, definitely not at cap. So that's the thing in there. And I know that if it's featured instance Silent Street, I say no. So yes. So the featured instance is.
According to Wikipedia, I'm not in game right now because everybody will be able to hear it. But according to Wikipedia, if you do the tier 2 challenge stuff, you can barter for level 115 gear. But to do tier 2 challenge stuff, you have to do it at level cap, which is 130. And you can get the 105 stuff that you needed going through picking flowers. And you can have a chance of an Amethyst Starlight Crystal, Blemish Symbol of the Elder King, Imbued Legacy Replacement Scroll, level 105 Essence Box, relic removal scrolls, random stat tome, or universal solvent.
Yeah, it's the crystals and scrolls that way. I think
the crystals
usually
and
do them
scrolls
for.
might be useful if you aren't maxed. If they update this, it might be useful, but otherwise you might be disappointed.
Unless the main thing you want are those crystals and scrolls, because I usually ignore everything else.
I think you usually get like 1 to 3 scrolls of empowerment, always. And a random Gorgoroth crafting bundle. Why do they still have those? I don't know. But you should at least always get at least one scroll of empowerment. But you can also get that 1 scroll of empowerment by doing Minas Tirith dailies, which you can solo. So.
Well, true, but I think that after around the 30th day, you start to get tired of doing that.
After around the 2nd day. But so far, that's the only way to consistently get 6 scrolls with not spending hours in game. So.
Anyone else have anything to add concerning the featured instance?
Mm-mm.
Then let's head into our weekend in LOTRO. And Calibathian, what were you up to?
Well, Friday night pig pile. I have my main Calibathian on Laurelin, but I also made one on Arkenstone, of course, so that I could actually play on the moors there. So my Arkenstone Calibathian, who is a champion and not a hunter, went on a field trip this past Friday, and everyone got out their anniversary firework pigs for fun as we were kind of running around outside Bree doing all the B words, brigands, bears, and boars. We had to hunt them and all of that good kind of stuff. And then at another point this week, there was a Morkendeer in the spider pit. The darkest assassin in the world, Morkendeer, disconnected in a spider den, and he was still out of the way and safe later. I managed this. I don't know how, but I actually had to attend an online class for an hour, and I realized, oh no, it's almost time, and it takes me a while to log out of the game and quit it and everything. And so I was like, clicking, and I was like, well, where am I going to be? Because I'm here. There's a bunch of spiders around. I'm, and they're kind of in the blue range, and I'm like, they could really get me if I just, if I'm not careful. So I kind of looked around at where all the little red dots were and found this one little area in a corner where they weren't going. And that's where I kind of went and, placed him and disconnected. And then when I came back, of course, he was not invisible. And he came in and he was visible and he was still okay. It's like there were no spiders around. So I managed somehow to avoid spider death just by, existing in the wrong place.
Might I ask where the spider pit was?
Oh, it was the ruins there, kind of south of the Forsaken Inn. I was running through the Egg Lane corpses, and I think they were like the vile webs, and yes. So I was literally almost done with that, and I was like, I can't finish this. I've got to go to class. So I kind of scooted off into a corner and disconnected and hoped for the best. And when I reconnected, the best was there. I was lucky. And, I finished that out and then disconnected and went about my business with something else. And then, more blood for okay, wait, that's the wrong game. But Killian the Warg is a rank 7 now. Hooray.
Congrats.
Celebration. He gets to bite all the things with more viciousness and more attitude now. All is well. Guarendes, how about you?
Well, I said that I just started Mortar Besieged right before the last podcast. Earlier in the week, I was still questing in Mortar Besieged, but I did get a look around Minas Morgul. Sans, Cinders, and I ran through Harrowing and Shadow Roost, and that was a bit of a challenge. I'm glad Cinders came along because Sans and I were trying it by ourselves, and 2 DPS and no guard did not make for a good start. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and got to see some cool things that are evidently going to be very much in my future for a while. My kinmates, Ashigaru and Luinori, ran me through the featured instance, and I think I got like a universal solvent and a scroll and something like that. Ran a little bit smoother than the first attempt.
That wouldn't take much, though.
Yeah, once again, Sans and I were trying that. 2 DPS, yeah, just doesn't work. But they were both captains. I wiped twice. Each of them rezzed me once. Thanks, guys. Because my bow is just too tasty, and the boss was just really annoyed with me. And I think it was my ding in level 129 this week was actually funny. I looked when I had logged in one day, and it's like, okay, I really think I can hit 129 today. And I did Mordor dailies, and I did Rosgabel, and I did Fangorn, and I did 3 kingdoms, and I still hadn't dinged yet, and I'm so close. So I went to the festival, and I decided, what the heck, and I told a hobbit that I had her 2 chickens, and I dinged 129. I have since then actually dinged 130, and I am out of Mordor Besieged as of today. So I got my first glimpse of Minas Morgul coming out of the camp there, the first camp, and yeah, this is going to be a thing, I can tell.
But there's still epilogue to do, so you can't go there yet.
Well, I just started having to go burn flowers on the other side of the gate, for Pete's sake. Anyway, Sans, what did you get up to this week?
Well, this week I attended a bear party to celebrate the Ploy Bear Buddies' 5th anniversary, and that was fun. We had music and dancing, and then we went and played freeze tag, and then we went fishing. So, that was pretty cool. And I did some festivaling for dances and Starlit Crystals, so another Stat Axe has both of the dwarf dances now. And I finished the Wells of Langflood with Maven and Nitesh, and that was a really cool story. And I did my first run of the weeklies, and it was Natesh's Guardian and my Minstrel, and it was a very good combo. So I'm actually really looking forward to Terry finding this and seeing how fast your champion can get through it, because I think she's going to have fun. How was your week, Terry?
Well, I didn't actually play Terry this week, because somebody went to a bear party.
Sorry.
And it ran late. However, after last week's podcast, Sarissa ran around with a pack of hunters and a captain and cleared out most of Osgiliath. It was great. And when I say pack of hunters, I mean I had like 3 of them. And then the captain showed up, and he was kind of just along for the ride. He's like, "What do I need to do?" I said, "Just run along. It's fine." Because I didn't really. I mean, they were kind enough to like let me stab things once or twice. I don't know if that was them being kind or them just not really paying attention to where I was, and I popped out of stealth and hit something, and then poof, it died because somebody shot it. But yeah, so Sarissa finished. I could go back and do Osgiliath dailies if I really wanted to do Osgiliath dailies, but I did the round of quests once, and that was kind of enough. At some point, she's going to have to do Ashes and Stars, and I'm not looking forward to that, because I didn't finish it on Terry either, because it sucks. I hate the Sunken Labyrinth so much. I have so much salt for that instance. I don't even know if they've changed it or if it's better, but yeah, Andang and Pineleaf and I did it in beta, and it's like, no. I would do Silent Street before I would do Sunken Labyrinth. That's how much my salt level is for that instance. And then I ran through a couple of instance thingies and met some people like Faramir and Imrahil and Gandalf, Mithrandir, or whatever we're calling him now. And she made it to Minas Tirith. So she's on day 1 of 42-ish.
That's after you start the dailies that you have 42 days. Sorry.
I have a new writing project that I'm calling 42 Days in Minas Tirith, which is going to sort of kind of chronicle her journeys in Minas Tirith. So I did a day 1 entry, and it was talking about how Gandalf wants to be called Mithrandir now, and she's not going to throw stones about wanting to be called something else because she's been there. And then how he sends her up to the top tier and he'll meet her there and she didn't notice him sneaking past. Like, she didn't realize that wizards were burglars, but okay. So, yeah, maybe when I'm done, I will see about posting them to the LOTRO Players site and we'll have some fanfiction-ish things on LOTRO Players again, maybe. Depends on whether I want to actually buckle down and do the work of getting screenshots. I popped in on the field trip for the first time in ever, and
it's the first one I missed in forever. Rats!
Sans missed it. Well, I happened to know, Calabathian sent me a ping that she was field tripping. I'm like, with the academy? So I popped in, and yep, there she was. And I was gonna say don't do anything I wouldn't do, but I noticed that Pineleaf was with that group, so I didn't have to worry about it, because there's stuff that I will do that Pineleaf will not. So, like, if there's stuff on the list that I will not do, I definitely know Pineleaf won't do it.
I mean, riding off-road into mobs might make the list. Sorry, Pineleaf.
This is coming from Sanswinda.
Hey, I didn't say I wouldn't do it.
I can talk about staying on the road. Sans has got no room to throw shade at Pineleaf for that.
I really don't. I was just suggesting it as maybe something that Terry wouldn't do that Pineleaf did.
That's true.
Yeah, but I don't do that on a regular basis.
No.
True. I'm usually the one who's off-roading.
In fact, I was assuming because Sanswinda was in the group that you'd be going off-road.
I specifically said we were following the road.
Oh, well.
It was really funny.
It was really funny. I lost my train of thought. Oh, my self-assigned homework is to change characters for the field trip, because Calabathian mains a hunter on Laurelin. The Calabathian that she made on Arkenstone, she did the same thing that Sans did when she changed servers, that she changed classes with the same name. So, like, Sans has a mini named Sanswinda on Arkenstone, and Calabathian has a champion on Arkenstone.
I wanted to try something new.
Exactly.
Besides, I didn't actually think I'd be playing.
You weren't actually planning on playing the character either, but
yeah.
I have 12 Terrys, and they're all champions. If I'm going to reuse the name, I reuse the class. If I'm going to try something new, I'm going to make up a different name. Anyway, I had a minstrel in that level range that I ran around with. But they already had a minstrel because they had a Pineleaf who was a minstrel. It was Pine Lute, right? Pine Lute?
Yeah.
Pine Lute.
It's always Pine something. It's Pine Lute.
Pine Lute plays the bagpipes, right, Pine?
Really?
I just had to try.
So I decided that I am going to get a hunter to run with that group. And it turns out that I actually do have a low-level hunter on Arkenstone already. She's level 6. So not too much work to get it up to level 15. I mean, it's like a couple hours maybe. Once you pull out all of the XP shinies that come from pre-order gifts. And Lawson Fan, my elf minstrel, ran around with a whole group of other people because Morchandir wanted some company, and I felt that getting Sarissa out to run with him might make him feel a little underpowered, because level 100 versus level 25?
25, yeah.
little overpowered, so I had my elf mini, which is still overpowered, but at least it's closer to the level. Yeah, so that was my week. How about you, Pineleaf?
I'm going to begin on Honor, where my warden visited a city on the hill that had fewer pubs than its name promised.
What city is this?
Beer Tour.
Oh! Okay.
Yes.
Not spelled beer, it's spelled B-Y-R-E.
I know, but going by sound.
Depending on whose sound.
Well, I suppose you go by that. Yes, I guess you go beer tour, I guess, if you really
Well, I would have
wanted it.
thought it would be buyer or buyeree. I mean,
Now the Rohirric Y is actually a U.
ah,
But I always forget that, so yeah, I've always thought of it as Biotor.
Yeah.
could be worse. It could be bear tour, and it's full of OP furballs.
Yes. Then, during Friday Night Fights, we learned that spiders cheat.
Did you burn them all down anyway?
No, what happened there is that we were doing the spider wing.
For Heligrod?
Yeah, Heligrod. So we're doing spider wing. And at first, we got to the boss fight, and at first things seemed to be going well. Then suddenly, people start dying all over the place, and we're left with two.
Oh yeah, that
Guardian.
spider totally cheats. You didn't know that?
Yeah. So after the cheating and all this stuff, we managed to, despite the fact that we had a Guardian and a Warden left, so not exactly the great combination of fast DPS. And we come down to this situation, we bring down the spider, then we go and bring down what we thought was the last of the ads, and it looked like we had the chest glowing all ready to collect and all that stuff. So we thought, okay, we must have killed all the ads, but somehow, somewhere, there must have been some mob that we missed or something like that, because when everybody came back in, that all the people that had to go back to the beginning on that, when all those came back, it reset.
Oops.
And we have no idea how the boss fight reset on there, because it's like saying, wait a minute, we were out of combat, we had a glowing chest, and of course we were waiting to open the chest because we were waiting for everybody else to show up before we opened up the chest. So yes. And of course, after that little bit of discouragement in there, the second attempt at the boss fight went worse than the first one. So that time we wiped on the second try. So it's like, yeah, the spiders cheated because we had them down on that first attempt. We knocked down the boss. We knocked down the ads. And then to have the credit stolen from us, well, that was just evil and obnoxious. That's what I got to say about those spiders. But I'm sure that Sanswinda will always agree that spiders are evil and obnoxious.
Oh yes, burn them all. Burn it down.
Burn them all.
They can't cheat if they're dead.
Then on the field trip, where after that little pig celebration, where we had all the celebratory pigs out there and ran through Adso's area and helped him with several things, we then headed out to do our class quest. So therefore, my Lobi minstrel did a little song for the company. Yes. After finding somebody's lunch, of course.
Oh, you had to bring that up.
We currently have 14 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you'd like to support us without joining Patreon, you could contact Drac at lotrplayers.com. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast at lotrplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, Lotro Players at Lotro Players, Arendis at Arendis, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, Sanswinda at Sanswinda, Terry Edwin at Terry Edwin, Guarendis at Nidashell, and Calabathian at Calabathian. The Players Alliance has 3 shows. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And at an indeterminate time that you could learn by following Twitter at XPQuest, you will be able to know when XPQuest comes back online. Just remember, though, that XPQuest is not Pineleaf friendly. And that is all for tonight. And this is Polyp Needles reminding you to socialize responsibly.